Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. As-salatu was-salamu ala Rasulihil Kareem. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Like other Mondays and Wednesdays, inshallah ta'ala, today also we'll talk about a small surah from the Quran, the surah that we always use in our daily prayers, and try to, in a very short time, like in maybe 5 to 10 minutes time, we'll try to get the gist out of the surah. What are the main message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us with this surah. So today's surah, inshallah ta'ala, is Surah Kafiroon. And we all know this surah, inshallah ta'ala. This surah has a great value in our sunnah and everything. So just want to go through the incident, what happened before the surah and why this surah was revealed. So the surah before it, the surah before the Surah Al-Kafirin is Surah Al-Kawthar. Inna atanaka Al-Kawthar, fasalli li rabbika wanhar, inna shaniyaka huwal abtar. This is the surah before this one. In the surah before it, they insulted Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The incident was that they said to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that, Abtar, Batara Muhammad, meaning the Rasulullah will have no generation after him, because he, a son of Rasulullah passed away, and the kuffar made fun of that. So in this surah, Allah responds them that you call Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam Batara, and I call you Kafiroon. So it's a response from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Also in the surah before, Allah says, Inna shaniyaka huwal abtar. Shaniya means the enemy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah saying, by saying them Kafiroon, Allah is saying that you are Kafiroon to me. If you become an enemy to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you become a Kafiroon to me in this surah. And also the context of the surah, basically we all know the story that some leaders of the Quraysh in Makkah, they came to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they tried to make a deal with Rasulullah. They gave an offer to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that, listen, we are tired of your message. And it's been almost 10 years or 12 years that you've been saying that La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Let's make a deal. 1 year we will follow your Islam, and the next year you follow our religion. So it's like a give and take policy. And this is probably a trick from shaitan. This is a trick from shaitan because Allah mentioned this one in a previous surah, like in Surah Al-Baqarah. Allah said, Ya ayyuhallazina amanu udkhulu fis silmi kaffa, because udkhulu fis silmi innahu kanu aduwwun mubin. Allah is saying that if you want to enter into the Islam, you have to enter into the Islam wholeheartedly. And if you don't do that, you are following the footsteps of shaitan. So taking part of Islam and not taking the whole of Islam, it is something from the shaitan, and that was the Quraysh of the Makkah was trying to do that. And also we can see that this offer doesn't make any difference to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because in the previous surah Allah has given Al-Kawthar to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, so he doesn't need any offer from the Quraysh. Now very quickly, the word kul, it starts with the kul. As you all know that there are a few surahs in Quran that start with the kul, like kul huwallahu ahad and kul a'udhu bil falaq, kul a'udhu bin nas. And the meaning of the word kul is say. So why Allah is using the kul word here? Because Allah is saying that say, this is not something that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam saying. They came with an offer to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we have a deal, like 1 year we will do Islam, 1 year you will do the shirk. So Allah is responding on behalf of him. Allah is saying, tell them this is from my commandment, my judgment, that they are al-kafirun. And that's what Allah mean here. And obviously Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the mercy to this world, so he cannot use this kind of harsh word. So that's why Allah is covering Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and saying that you are not saying this is not your decision, this is my decision that they become the kafirun. Now very quickly, the word kafirun, obviously the kafirun means the ones who reject. But if you think about this, they didn't reject Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The people of the Makkah, the Quraysh, they said, we will accept Islam, we will receive you as a messenger for 1 year. So they are taking part of and also Allah mentioned in the Quran that they used to worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They have a God of Allah. They know that the rains from the skies comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the word should be mushrikun, not kafirun. But Allah used the word kafirun because they've been told the message so many times and they are refusing and refusing and refusing. So it is a lesson from us also. If you reject something, in our ummah, it is sad to say that in our ummah there are a lot of people who are Muslim by name, Muslim by born, but they are rejecting the prayer, they are rejecting the siyam, they are rejecting the halal way to income and everything, and they are rejecting and rejecting. If you keep doing this one, Allah is saying they are kafirun. And kafirun, as you know, this is grammatically is a noun, and when Allah says something in noun, that is permanent. In Quran, Allah says a lot of time kafaru, like innal ladzina kafaru sawa'un alayhim. A lot of time Allah use kafaru. Kafaru means one who disbelieved. So there is a chance that in future he will believe. But when Allah says kafirun, it means that's finished. They have no way to turn back, and they are the last. This is the final judgment from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they will be the kafirun at the end of the day. Allah have put seal in their heart. Now, very quickly, the word abd in this surah, the few times, almost 9 times or 7 times, the abd word comes. What is the abd means? And this is the quick definition from Ibn Taymiyyah. He said, you need 5 conditions to be a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You have to have the obedience, you have to have the love, you have to have the trust for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the sincerity, the ikhlas, and the last thing, the terms of slavery. Meaning that, in our life, we always have a contract. Like you go to a job, you have a contract with your employer. Like, you do 8 hours of job and everything. When you get married, we have a contract with your wife. That, she has some rights, I have some rights. With our parents, we have some rights. But with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also we have a contract, but this is a one-way contract. By one way, what I mean, that is contract coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't go and negotiate Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, this year I'm not going to do Ramadan. We cannot negotiate all these things. This is all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you follow the rules of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you become a slave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is why the abd means basically you become a worshipper of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at the same time you enslave yourself to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now this surah has a lot of repetition, as you know, like it is twice the repetition, the same verse comes. So, and the scholars say that why the repetition is here. There are a few opinions. I'm just going to say those things. The first of all, that Allah repeats something to show Allah's anger and Allah's disgust. Like if someone is very angry, say, I hate you, I hate you. I don't want to go there, I don't want to go there. So you say twice the things. So this is the thing that Allah is saying that, twice in this surah that, you are kafirun, and Rasulullah is saying that I'm not going to worship what you worship, and you're not going to worship what I worship. So that's why Allah make it twice. Some of the scholars say the first pair, the first 2 verses, like verse number 2 and 3, it is for the past. The Rasulullah is saying that in my past life I never worship what you worship. And even in future also I'm not going to worship what you worship. So that's why there's 2 times of this repetition. Another was this, because they came with 2 offers. They said 1 year we'll have Islam, another year we'll have the shirk, like our religion, what are you doing? So they had 2 offers, and that's why Allah refused them twice. And the last one is this. The one is says, ma antum ta'budun, meaning the quality of Allah. The Rasulullah is saying that my God, the Lord I worship, He is Allah. He is the most majestic and everything. And also my way of worship, the way I worship the thing, it is also different than your one. So that's why it's come here. And the last thing here, the word deen, lakum dinukum waliya deen, and this is probably one of the most misunderstood ayah of the Quran. And a lot of non-Muslims, lakum dinukum waliya deen means, okay, you do your religion, I do my religion. But actually it doesn't mean that. Because Allah is saying to those people only, the message has been given to these people for 10 years, or more than 10 years. And after they reject, then Rasulullah is saying that your deen is to your deen. And deen only doesn't mean religion. Deen means a way of life, a way of worship. And also we say Maliki Yawmid Deen. It is the judgment. And in Arabic language, if you look at the dictionary of Arabic language, the deen also means a loan. A loan, if you give a loan, you have a specific time to pay up this loan. So in the judgment day, they will have their own deen, they will have their own judgment, and we believers will have their own judgment. And that is what means lakum dinukum waliya din. And this surah, there are few sunnah about this surah that in the Fajr prayer, the 2 rakah of Fajr, Rasulullah has a hadith in Muslim, that in the first rakah you pray Fajr, you pray Surah Al-Kafirun, and second rakah Surah Al-Ikhlas. Even in the Maghrib, the 2 rakah sunnah that you're going to pray now, the first rakah is the sunnah to do Al-Kafirun, and second rakah to Ikhlas. Also, people who went to Hajj, brothers, you know that after the tawaf, that you make 2 rakah of sunnah, and it is recommended that in the first rakah you pray Al-Kafirun, and second rakah you pray Al-Ikhlas. Also, I didn't mention that in Surah, even our better prayer, if you pray 3 rakah of better, the first rakah you pray Sabbih Ismi Rabbikal A'la, second rakah Al-Kafirun, and third rakah Surah Al-Ikhlas. So this surah has a lot of sunnah related to this. So may Allah give us tawfiq to understand the meaning of the surah and implement it in our lives. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.